I have a sister who exposed my pregnancy early, before I wanted to tell anyone, to my entire family. And you're probably wondering, well, duh, if I didn't want her to tell everybody, I shouldn't have told her. Well, I didn't. See, I drink wine a lot. I love it. I drink it for dinner, family events, outings, name it. Well, obviously I wasn't drinking because I'm pregnant, and my sister must have picked up on it, and her little brain must have put it together that, oh, she's not drinking, she must be pregnant. Well, this time she was right. So she goes and announces to the whole party at family dinner that I'm pregnant, and I'm so mad I might just let slip her little secret. I'm 30, female, never thought that I'd be writing this, but 3 nights ago my strange sister Sarah showed up at my doorstep at 2 a.m., mascara running down her face, begging for a place to stay. This sister has not spoken more than 10 words to me at family gatherings for the past 3 years. The sister who made it her life's mission to remind everyone how much better she was than me. The same sister who nearly destroyed my relationship before it had a chance to begin. I guess I should back up and explain why, seeing Sarah on my porch, clinging to a hastily packed overnight bag, was such a shock. 3 years ago, my cousin Melissa was getting married. It was a beautiful ceremony, and everybody was having a great time. At the reception was there with my boyfriend of 6 months, Dan. Things were still pretty new between us, but they were good, really good. So good that when I found out I was pregnant about a week before the wedding, I was terrified but not devastated. So I hadn't told anyone yet, not my parents, not my friends, and definitely not Dan. I wanted to process it myself first, figure out how I felt, and then have a conversation with Dan before dealing with family reactions. Well, I confided in exactly one person. Sarah, the night before the wedding, when she cornered me asking why I wasn't drinking at the rehearsal dinner. Big mistake. Huge during the reception, right after the best man speech, Sarah somehow got hold of the microphone. At first, everyone thought she was going to give an impromptu toast to our cousin. Instead, she announced to our entire family, all of Melissa's friends, and most importantly to Dan, that I'm pregnant. But she didn't stop there. No, Sarah turned my pregnancy into a cautionary tale, comparing my irresponsibility to her perfect life with her husband Jeremy, the successful investment banker. She talked about how they had done things the right way: college, marriage, career, then carefully planned children. She particularly patted herself on the back while standing next to Jeremy, who looked uncomfortable but did not stop her. The room went silent. All eyes turned to me, then to Dan, who looked like he'd been hit by a truck. My parents' expressions shifted from shock to disappointment in real time. Melissa's new husband awkwardly tried to get the DJ to start playing music again. I ran out of the reception hall in tears. The aftermath was brutal. Dan and I nearly broke up, not because of the pregnancy itself, but because of the horrible way he found out, and the pressure suddenly heaped on our new relationship. My parents were disappointed and worried, asking how we planned to manage when we barely knew each other. Aunts and uncles who had been hugging me earlier were now giving me looks of pity or judgment. And through it all, Sarah acted like she'd done me a favor by exposing me before I could, quote, trick Dan into staying. Against all odds, Dan stood by me. We had some brutally honest conversations, moved into a tiny apartment, and both picked up extra shifts at work. When our baby girl Lily was born, she became the center of our universe. Over the past 3 years, we've built a modest but stable life. I finished my degree online, Dan got promoted twice, and last year we were able to put a down payment on a small house. We got engaged on Lily's second birthday. It's not the life path that I planned, but I wouldn't trade Lily for anything. Sarah, meanwhile, kept living her perfect life with Jeremy. At every family gathering, she would find ways to highlight their success. The promotion Jeremy got, the house they bought in the fancy neighborhood, and the exotic vacations they took. She never directly mentioned my situation again, but the contrast was always implied. She didn't need to say it. The knowing looks she exchanged with our mother said it all. So when Sarah showed up at my door in the middle of the night, mascara streaming down her face and looking utterly broken, I was shocked. At first I thought somebody died, but the truth was something else entirely. Jeremy, her perfect husband, had been gambling, not just casual poker night with friends, but serious, addiction-level gambling. He had lost their savings, maxed out multiple credit cards that she didn't know about, and, the final blow, taken out a second mortgage on their house without her knowledge or consent. And then, the cherry on top of this crap sundae, he disappeared 2 days ago with his secretary, leaving Sarah to deal with the wreckage of their finances and the debt collectors who had started showing up. As she sobbed on my couch, the thing that she kept repeating wasn't that she was heartbroken or that she was worried about her future. No, her biggest concern was that no one in our family found out. She couldn't bear the humiliation, she said, after spending years positioning herself as the successful sister who made all the right choices, after judging everyone else's life decisions, and after making sure everyone knew how perfect her marriage was compared to my mistake. I made her tea and found a spare blanket for the couch. When she finally calmed down enough to speak without sobbing, she looked at me with red-rimmed eyes and whispered, "I don't deserve your help after what I did to you." I simply replied, "I know, that's the difference between us." And I let her stay because despite everything, she's still my sister. And I'm not planning any grand revenge, or at least I wasn't, but this morning, while Sarah was in the shower, her phone kept buzzing on the coffee table. I should not have looked, I know, but when I saw multiple messages from Jeremy popping up, my curiosity got the better of me. What I found changed everything. This isn't just about Jeremy gambling away their money. There's so much more Sarah hasn't told me, and some of it directly affects my family, including my parents. Now I'm sitting here watching her. Pretend everything's fine as she plays with Lily, and I'm wondering what to do next. Should I confront her with what I found? Should I help the sister who tried to ruin my life, but is now in desperate need? Or should I give her a taste of her own medicine and let her experience what public humiliation feels like? Update 1. It's been 3 days since my last post, and things have taken a turn I never expected. After reading all your comments, thank you for the support and advice. I was leaning toward the be the bigger person approach, but then I discovered something that made that option a lot less appealing. The morning after Sarah arrived, her phone would not stop buzzing with text messages. When she went to shower, I glanced at her screen and saw they were from Jeremy, begging her to find the money and saying that he was sorry about everything. My curiosity got the better of me and I checked her messages. What I found made my blood run cold. Sarah and Jeremy had been stealing from our parents' retirement fund for months. Let me explain. Our dad made Sarah a co-signer on their accounts when he had health issues last year, just in case something happened to both of our parents. Sarah has been using that access to borrow money, over $45,000 so far, to cover Jeremy's gambling debt. Their plan was to replace it before anybody noticed, but obviously, that's not happening now. There's more. Sarah lost her prestigious marketing job 6 months ago, but has been pretending to go to work every day. The dream house that she loves to brag about is in foreclosure. All those designer clothes that she flaunts at family gatherings, they're either knockoffs or bought on credit cards that she has no way of paying off. Their entire life has been a lie, and she's been maintaining this fiction while continuing to look down on me and Dan. Yesterday morning, I overheard her on a call with her friend Caitlin. Sarah thought that I had left for work, but I was actually working from home because Lily had a slight fever. What I heard shattered any remaining sympathy. Sarah was laughing about how she was manipulating her stupid sister into helping her. She actually said, "I'll be back on top soon, and then I can get back to pretending like Lily was a mistake and that her life is a cautionary tale." My daughter, my beautiful little perfect daughter, a mistake that Sarah was using to make herself feel superior. I wanted to confront her right then, but I held back. If she knew what I discovered, she would just run, and my parents would never know what she did to them. So instead, I called my parents and casually mentioned that Sarah was visiting me after a long time and suggested that we all have dinner tomorrow. I didn't tell them about Jeremy or the gambling or any of it, just that it would be nice for us all to catch up. When I told Sarah about the dinner, she nearly had a panic attack. She begged me to cancel, making up excuses about not being emotionally ready to see everyone. And when I insisted, saying it would seem weird to cancel, She got desperate. This morning she offered me 5 grand. She claims she hid it from Jeremy, and if I would make up an excuse to postpone the dinner for a few weeks, she said she needs time to figure things out before facing our parents. The desperate look in her eyes was almost satisfying after years of her condescension. I haven't given her any answer yet. Part of me wants to take the money, tell our parents everything anyway, and let Sarah deal with the consequences of her actions. Another part thinks that would make me just as bad as her. But there's a third option forming in my mind. A way to give Sarah exactly what she deserves, without stooping to her level. I need time to work out the details, though. Should I take the money and run with my plan, or is that crossing a line I just should not be crossing? I don't know. What bait to? I can't believe what just happened. I'm shaking as I type this. This morning I woke up early to get Lily ready for daycare. Sarah was still asleep on the couch, and I was trying to be quiet. After dropping Lily off, I came back to find Sarah gone. At first, I wasn't concerned. Maybe she went out for coffee or needed some space. Then I noticed my bedroom door was slightly ajar. I always keep it closed when we have guests, and with a sinking feeling, I checked the back of my closet where we kept a lockbox with emergency cash, $33. Zero zone that Dan and I have slowly saved for unexpected expenses, a rainy day fund including potential medical costs for Lily. The box was there, but the money wasn't. Instead, there was a note that said, "Borrowed this to pay off some of Jeremy's creditors who were threatening me. I'll pay you back ASAP, pap. Please don't tell mom and dad about the dinner. I'll explain everything soon. She stole from us. After everything, she stole money we've been saving for our daughter's future emergencies. Money we set aside by cutting back on everything, never eating out, never buying new clothes for ourselves, so we would have a safety net for Lily." I called Sarah immediately. No answer. Texted her, nothing. Called my parents to cancel the dinner, making up a story about Sarah having a work emergency and needing to leave town suddenly. They were disappointed, but did not suspect anything was wrong. I could not tell them the truth. Not yet, not until I figured out what to do about Sarah. After calming down a bit, I realized Sarah had left her laptop behind in her rush to disappear with my money. I'm not proud of what I did next, but I felt justified given the circumstances. I opened her laptop. She's been using the same password since high school. Our childhood cat's name, plus her birth year. What I found confirmed everything and revealed even more. Emails between Sarah and Jeremy from just 2 days ago, planning to reconcile and move to Arizona with whatever money they could gather from family and friends. They were not separated at all. This whole thing was a scam to get money from anybody they could manipulate. Jeremy had not run off with his secretary. He was lying low while Sarah played the victim to extract cash from me, and who knows what else. I needed time to process, to figure out my next move, so I texted Sarah something I knew would get her attention. "I understand your situation better now. I'm willing to help you with $10,000 from my savings if you'll meet me tomorrow to make a plan. No judgment, just family helping family," she responded within minutes. "Thank you so much. You're the best sister ever, and I'm so sorry about the money I took. It was an emergency. I'll be there tomorrow morning and explain everything. Love you guys. The fake sweetness made me sick, but now I have until tomorrow to set my trap." I've already taken photos of her messages with Jeremy and saved copies of their emails as evidence. Dan knows everything now too, and he's furious but letting me handle it my way. I'm setting things in motion that'll give Sarah exactly what she deserves, but I'm worried I might be becoming as manipulative as she is. Am I going too far by setting this trap? Should I just cut my losses, tell my parents everything, and wash my hands of her completely? I don't know what to do. Wetbait 3. Hey everybody, it's me. I'm here with an update. So they say revenge is a dish best served cold, but I'm finding that systematic exposure tastes better. Sarah arrived this morning, smiles and fake apologies about the borrowed money. She hugged me tightly, saying I was the only one who really understood her situation and how grateful she was to have a sister like me. The performance was award-worthy, I'll give her that. I played along, making coffee and sitting her down at the kitchen table to discuss how I could help. Then, I casually mentioned that I'd noticed some concerning emails on her laptop, when I was charging it for her. The color drained from her face so fast I thought she might faint. She asked what exactly I'd seen. I told her plainly that I knew everything. The emails with Jeremy, their plans to move to Arizona, and the money they'd taken from our parents' retirement account. She broke down completely, not because she was sorry, but because she was caught. Between sobs, she admitted everything. The gambling wasn't just Jeremy, she had a problem too. The theft from our parents wasn't a one-time thing, but had been going on for almost a year. The perfect marriage was a sham. They fought constantly about money and had nearly divorced twice. When she finally calmed down, she begged me not to tell our family. Her reputation was all she had left, she said. She couldn't bear for everyone to know the truth after she'd spent years crafting her perfect image. She promised she'd pay back every penny somehow, that she'd get help for the gambling, that she'd make things right if I just gave her time and kept her secret. I pretended I was actually considering it, then I went ahead and proposed a deal. I would help her, financially of course, and keep her little secret if she wrote down everything she'd done. That's right, I told her to do a full confession about the theft from our parents, the lies about the perfect marriage, and her plan to run away with Jeremy after gathering even more money from family. Desperate and relieved, she agreed as she started writing. I subtly positioned my phone to record the conversation and set up my tablet to take periodic photos every 30 seconds, angled toward the paper she was writing on. I wasn't being sneaky about it, I wanted her to notice. It took about 10 minutes before she realized what exactly was happening. She glanced up, saw my phone clearly recording, and then spotted the tablet. Her expression changed instantly from tearful gratitude to pure rage in the matter of a few seconds. "What the hell do you think you're doing?" she screamed, lunging for my phone. I moved it away just in time, but she managed to grab the paper she'd been writing on and tore it to pieces. $33,000.